on film just to hear you talking in your own voices about how things used to be. One of the things I was just thinking of is maybe if you could maybe not recall all of them, but tell us about some of the cars you owned all the years.
Wow, yeah.
Maybe favorites or different reasons you had a different kind of.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell one before you start that.
Okay.
Because what we have right now is a 2006 Mercury. Is that right?
Yep.
2006.
Anyway,
yeah,
but we had
Mercury
just
Milan.
gotten it, and they were going to do something to it. And so the man from the car dealer drove me home, and then he was going to take the car back. And as he pulled in our driveway, he commented, "That's a nice looking house." And I said, "Thank you, but this car cost more than that house did." And it's the truth.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that was.
How much did you pay for this house?
This was a Mercury Milan,
Yep.
which is the smallest Mercury, and it is the one she's talking about. Cost more than this house.
How much did this house cost in
The house cost
1963?
us just over. Well, it was. I think it was 20. It was 22,250.
That wouldn't be. That wouldn't even.
$22,000 for this house. The car cost us 25.
Right. And that wouldn't even serve as a down payment on this house today, would it?
No,
Oh,
and
no.
we paid a little more than other people have with this model house because we had the corner lot, and it was a little larger lot than people
And
in
a
the
nice
middle.
lot it is.
Yeah, but I mean that was made us pay. I don't know, not much more, but a little more.
Yeah, a reasonable estimate for this house's current value would be right around 600,000. So it went from 22,000 to 600,000. A reasonably good investment. Yeah.
Would you say the average working man's salary has increased proportionately to that?
You know, I've examined that a lot of times with a lot of different things, and it's rather odd. Sometimes it gets skewed one way or the other, but the relationship between what people earn and what it costs them to buy certain products over a long period of time doesn't really change that much. So that now you have people.
What do you think you made a year in 1963?
In 1963, and that's when we bought this house, yeah, I was making right around 10,000.
So the house was a little more than 2 years' salary.
Maybe slightly over 10,000.
A little more than 2 years'
It
salary.
was just 2 and plus 20%.
Yeah, just over 2 years' salary. And now, if it's worth 600,000, it's certainly people aren't making 250 to 300,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine the average working
Well,
man.
that's why one thing that's caused that is it used to be just it's the father, husband, whatever, would be working, and the wife would be taking care of the children, the house,
Right.
and things like that. And but now you've got two people working. They've got the income. You might say that the prices of price of anything is the old saying, whatever the market will bear.
Yes, market price.
So if you have people earning so much money, the prices go up almost accordingly.
Well, many people that would be that would fall in the average working man trade, say, especially blue collar, plumbers, electricians, flooring installers, people that work at various stores and places, maybe not computer or corporate CEOs. 50,000 is probably a fair average, because a lot of people.
Yeah, that'd probably be rather typical.
A lot of people today don't even make near 1,000 a week.
There are an awful lot. I have seen where the average post office employee earns something like 55,
Right.
but that's a lower level thing. And then they got police and firemen and so forth. It's the same education level for a lot of these people, but they earn more than that on average. Of course, when you talk about average, some the new people don't earn that much. Ones that have been there for 15 or 20 years earn a lot more. But just looking at averages, I would say it's somewhere between 50 and 70.
Right.
And so you would think, if our house was 2.5 or something like that times earnings, you look at now, if one person is buying it, if they earn, say, 60,000,
So about 10 times.
2.5 times 60, 120, 30, 150,000.
Right.
Well, keep in mind too, you're talking about this area. The rest of the country is different from here.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
Bob bought that house down in Atlanta, real nice house, and he paid 80-some thousand. Of course, he got a deal on it.
Right.
So when he was figuring what it would have been or should have been, or after he put money in to fix it up some, probably would have been at least 100,000, 120.
Right.
But just look at the difference. You're talking about
Location,
up here, that same
location,
house
location.
would be around 500,000. Big difference.
Didn't you always say in
400,000.
real estate it's location, location?
Oh yes, yep. The three main things.
So
About-
back to cars.
Yes.
I remember, that you bought a car the year I was born, which was a '62 Chevy 2. I remember the blue station wagon. I remember the Ford Maverick, vermilion in color
Yeah,
with black
vermilion.
racing stripes,
Tomato red. You
Yep.
can call it, but it was vermilion, is right.
which became Steve's and became quite infamous.
Yeah, the red Mav.
Yep.
He had a license plate said red Mav.
I remember a Dodge Monaco station wagon.
Yeah, that's the one we took our big trip in '76 in.
Yep.
All in the.
So how did that come about? How were you able to take 2 months off from work and take your whole family and pile them in a station wagon, hook a pop-up tent trailer to the back, and just travel the country for 2 months?
Yeah, well, the way you do that is you work for years, save enough money, and then you quit. Just take the time to go around and do whatever it was you wanted like that, then go back to work again.
Right. I have always thought about this, but never thought to ask you. You did that in the summer of '76, and your son Steve graduated from high school in '74.
Right.
And he did some traveling around the country his first year out. Was that partially an inspiration for you to decide to
It
do
might
this?
have been. It might have been. When you see something like that and you think, I've always wanted to do
Yeah.
something like this.
Because
Yeah.
as you
And
all were growing up, we didn't take a lot of vacations, like rent a cottage at the beach for a week or something,
Right.
because our parents were, and our families were living in Huntington. So when he got his time off from work, we just felt we had to
Go to see family. Well,
go to.
I'm glad
see
you did,
our-
because it was,
take you all to see your grandparents,
we
and
loved those times.
they were great trips, and you all loved them. But I mean, that's what we did on our vacation times, not going traveling around the country.
Most of it just sort of traveling around here and there were like weekend trips or something. We'd go up and stay in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Yep,
and,
I remember that.
and stay there and use the park, the amusement park and all, or go on the trips over, for like you were saying something about our going to see Civil War battlefields and all.
Yeah, we did a lot of that day trips, and also taking you all down to Washington sightseeing and so on. But the one thing I'd like to say is, I think Huntington was a great town for us growing up, and I think this area was a great area for you all growing
It
up.
sure was.
But one thing I do not regret ever, that I didn't work while you all were growing up. David made enough that I didn't have to, and I wouldn't have missed those days with you all as babies and little kids for anything in the world. Looking back on it,
I don't
Just-
think anyone regrets that, and I think we are all blessed because of it.
that
Mhm.
I just,
But you did miss something that way. You didn't have a nanny
I'm glad.
or an au pair
Oh,
that stayed here and took care of you.
So, I notice in the background as we see you sitting here, a curved glass cabinet, which I know isn't a common piece. And then we also see over here, you know, an antique piece with an antique lamp, antique tables, other nice pieces in the dining room as well. And I know throughout the house there's antique furniture, much of which has rich family history to it. How do you feel about not having modern furniture, having family heirlooms as furniture?
I like it myself.
I like it very much. I just don't really go for the modern look, the straight lines, the the perfect combo, you know, that
Right.
kind of stuff. I like a little ornate, a little different this from that, you know, and the old style, and a little bit of Victorian, you know,
Yep.
that sort of thing.
But when we're not
Yeah.
using it anymore, I don't know what's gonna happen, because I don't think people want that kind of stuff now.
I know I do.
Well, good. But if they have to sell it to, you know, I hope you all find somebody that appreciates it and buys it, and you get some money out of it. Got that clock,
I miss that sound when I'm not here. And sometimes you get so used to it that you're not even hearing it in the
Yeah.
background. But
unless I'm in here, if I'm in other rooms, I don't even notice it. But sometimes lying in bed when I haven't gone to sleep yet and it goes off, I like to listen to it from up there. It's very faint, you really
Yeah.
have to listen.
well, wonderful. I can't think of another specific topic unless there's something that you could think of to add, or
You know, you know, you were talking about the price of things and what
Yeah.
people make and all that. It might be worth mentioning that, what year was it? We were over here and, we went downtown to the warehouse sale. It was a warehouse sale, and we bought 3 rooms of furniture.
We got this while we were still in Colmore.
Cullimore, that's what I was thinking. So that would have been somewhere between 60 and 63, around 62, when it's
Yeah,
61. Somewhere around 1961 or 2. And, you know, you were asking how much was I making. I was
Yeah.
making about 10,000 a year, or maybe slightly over, but right around that. And so we went down to this warehouse sale, and we bought 3 full rooms of furniture for $850. And it was, you know, had living room couch, what chairs, two
Yeah.
chairs,
Living room,
the 2 side tables.
couch, and a matching chair, and then we bought another chair, and a coffee table, and 2 end tables, 2 lamps, a dining room table and 4 chairs, a bed with a dresser and a chest of drawers. At least that.
not bad.
And, yeah, a whole lot of furniture for $850. 3 rooms, it was all you needed really to
Yeah, because we
Furnished.
lived in an apartment, and that took care of everything.
furnish 3 rooms. Living room, dining room, and a bedroom.
Right. So that's about 1/30 of what you paid for the house, for that furniture for 3
Yeah,
rooms.
because
So,
that's,
so that
the
would be
house-
like,
we were paying pretty much full price for the house. So this furniture, this
Right.
was a great deal.
well, I was just saying, comparatively speaking, 1/30 of what this house is worth today would be $20,000 for 3 bedrooms worth of furniture, or 3 rooms, as
Yeah, right.
as compared.
Right. Uh-huh.
That'd be a lot.
Exactly.
That'd be some nice furniture.
Yeah.
But I bet you could spend that today on 3
Yeah,
rooms of
20,000.
furniture without
I'm
even
sure
thinking
you
about
could
it.
easily, especially if you're doing 3 full rooms.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So what is this bowl on top of the
Oh, this one here.
on top
Yeah,
of the
that-
curved glass?
Yeah, that belonged to Tom Dunphy and Georgia Nash Dunphy.
Right.
My grandparents.
Did that sit at Dunphy Hill?
It sat up there on their mantle, and I always loved that thing. I thought it was a fabulous looking thing.
Everybody likes it.
Yeah, and
Weird.
I think she had bought that. She used to go to estate sales,
Right.
so she'd buy things that were really, not just junk at a store or something. She'd buy some old estate stuff. So I don't know how old that would be, because she probably bought that, say, probably after they had that house on Dunphy Hills, which would be in 1920.
So it's a good 100 years old.
Well, it'd be probably something from back in the 1800s, I'm
Oh.
sure.
Maybe
Yeah.
150 years old.
Yeah, because she got it from an estate. And they'd probably had it for 40 years at least. So.
It's almost as interesting a piece as the Zittel Zinger.
Yeah, yes.
Speaking of which, I don't know where it is. Do you have it?
I don't know. These days, that thing has been
Just check it out.
disappearing and surfacing.
You must have it. One of my favorite things is that lamp over there. Of course,
What-
it doesn't show up unless you turn it on.
Let me turn it on.
Got the thing in-
Okay. That's it, yes. There's that little scenery on. It makes it look like the lights inside the lamp are like sun along the horizon.
Yep. Look at that.
Mhm.
The lamp itself looks like it has a sunset
Mm-hmm.
in the artwork.
Yes.
And I'm going to set it like that and turn it off and back on for effect.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's something.
And then there's that big pedestal table over in the corner. It's a very large pedestal table.
Yep.
Just, no legs or anything, just the one pedestal that it's on. And then the table at the other side of the other end of the couch is a called octagonal table. It has inlaid panels of natural wood, the 8 different panels with 8 different sort of wood grains. That'd be pretty,
Yep. Beautiful.
and then there's the hutch there that's full of all kinds of silverware from the past.
And the chandelier.
They turn the light on there, yeah. And the chandelier, we bought that since right about the time we moved in here. Mary Louise selected the one she liked best from all the stores everywhere.
You don't see silver like this in homes that much today, do you?
No. A lot of that is from various parts of the family. Aunts, uncles, grandparents, great-grandparents.
Most people don't want to be bothered with it now because you have to clean it.
Because of cleaning it. Well, there you have it.
Okay.
There you have it.
David Greiner and Mary Louise Douthat, a wonderful couple, married a long time, leaving quite a legacy, and just wonderful people. I'm so proud and happy to have been raised by you, and love you forever.
We have wonderful children and grandchildren.
Say goodbye.
Great.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you soon.
Get your white gloves on.
Yeah.